Disclaimer! The following video contains discussion about finance, poverty, inequality, greed, and the eventual destruction of all things. If you're scared of reality, then please stop watching now. Otherwise, clench your buttholes until fear-proof and enjoy the video. Wealth and poverty have two things in common. There are assholes on each side that share similar outlooks on life. There are also many amazing humans on each side, but they're always underlooked because seeing happiness on TV usually equals low ratings. First off, not all rich people are bad, and not all poor people are lazy. If you think this way without understanding the history of the individual, then you're an ignorant fuckface. From what I've learned on my many internet safaris, is that it seems as though this has been an ongoing issue throughout history. Back in the day, kings and queens lived in castles. The peasants did most of the hard labor, while receiving little to no compensation at all. Nowadays, the world is different. Not so much different, but different. Kings and queens still exist. We just call them shareholders, investors, and Zuckerbergs. Unfortunately, there's still an ongoing and alarmingly high imbalance of distributed wealth between the rich and the poor. Today's kings and queens, well, let's be honest, it's mostly all kings, still hold a gratuitous amount of wealth and are so greedy that it's legitimately destroyed the planet Earth. How exciting! Do your assets minus your liabilities equal your equity? Do you understand what that means? Riches were either born with money, or they eventually got into money somehow. Some riches are good.
Yes, I will donate $50 million to your charity for anti-itch tape cream for the poor.
And some of them are assholes.
I understand the new venture will give the workers cancer, but I need a new yacht, Francis.
Majority of problems that affect people in poverty usually don't affect the riches.
Like, Jay, how can you not afford rent? It's rent. Like, my rent is $8,500 a month and I can afford that. Oh my god, try harder!
Now, there's nothing wrong with being or wanting to become a richie, but in certain cases, it may depend on the reasons why a person wants to obtain richie status. Some richies have legitimately worked very hard to obtain everything they have, and realistically, there's a lot of awesome richies in the world. Then there are the richie assholes. These people lust over money and power. They're extremely greedy and only ever care about profit. Many of them value profit and income more than human life. Profit. They tend to do some really fucked up stuff to ensure they meet their financial needs. Profit. And more yachts. The list is long. Pollution, child mortality, war, economic disparity, suffering, climate change, and much more fuckery indeed.
I bet the next part is about the poor.
Right! Oh, I'm pretty sure we're being used in a transition right now.
Okay then. Now, what I mean by the poor is just the spectrum of people who aren't rich. These are the people limited by income, have little to no savings, probably hold some debt, and most likely don't have enough money saved to live off interest. The kings and queens have labeled this class the middle class. Also known as the people who aren't beating inflation, actually pay taxes and their wages haven't increased in decades while the cost of living creeps higher and higher year after year. What a fucking sham! Trickle-down economics can trickle down like goddamn nutsack. At the lowest end of the poor spectrum come the ultra-poor. This group lives in poverty in practically every country around the world. Violence is prevalent in their environment and it often makes you wonder how hope survives in these places. We all need to collectively help these people as the wealth imbalance is really fucking them up. This is the sad reality of things. On the other end of the spectrum, enter the poor asshole. Which, yes, does sound like an old Bruce Lee porn spoof. Ever had your car window smashed and the only thing stolen were 88 cents in change and an old condom? Have you come across a rude entitled fuckface who is obviously poor, but lacks self-awareness and only cares about perceived image? Has a drunk person ever called you the N-word in the middle of downtown at 11:15 a.m. on a Wednesday morning? All poor asshole activities. But I guess everybody's got their reasons. And I hope by this point you're starting to understand what this video is all about. The reality is, there is no difference between the rich and the poor. They're all just people. The only difference is the amount of money people have on each side. Stupid rich assholes fuck up the world, while stupid poor assholes fuck up your day. Money doesn't make the world go round, physics does. Humans should treat each other with kindness, and ideally the world will suck a bit less each day. But good luck with that. Please remember to stop on my website and take a look through my fantastic wares. Remember, you can spell economics without ween. Until next time!